Howdy, everybody. It's me, Rex Thompson, your humble instructor at National University for Research Writing 260. This is the start of week 2. Sometimes I like to publish those little videos instead of typing all these words that you have to read. All you have to do is kick back and listen to me yak for a few minutes. I'll make it as painless as possible. Anyway, I hope you're all doing well. Have patience on the grading. I wait till the week is over to actively go after the grading, so everybody has their assignments in. How we all doing? How was that first week? It gets tougher as the weeks go on because you get better. The assignments get a little tougher, a little more detailed, because you're learning more each week, and so that's why it looks different each week. You signed up for these short terms, 4 weeks, and so we jam a lot in there to get your money's worth and to educate yourself. It's hot where I am, but not as hot. I mean, when it cools down 105, everybody goes, "Oh, it's cooling down," because last week it was 114. I don't know where you are. Maybe a lot of you in San Diego area. I bet it's cooler there. Some ocean breeze. Anyway, I hope you're all doing well. If anybody ever has the desire or something to have a Zoom, a one-on-one meeting, that's fine. Just tell me. We'll go for it. You have to let me know through my email, rexhaas@yahoo.com, or text me at 530-941-9661. Just identify what class you're in. I've got several classes. Identify who you are and what class you're in. Thank you. Sometimes people leave that out. I have no idea what class they're in. Anyway, hope you're well. Now you see what I look like. This is me. Yes, those are my paintings on the wall because I'm an artist. Yes, this is what I do. Besides, I'm also a filmmaker. I'm working on a documentary right now and writing a novel, by the way. Do you guys read? I hope you do. Anyway, today, week 2, what is it all about? Well, the big takeaways this week, maybe you've go through, look at each assignment before you do them. I would just go through it, see where you stand. Look at the due dates. A note on the due dates. It may say you need to have this done by Thursday or Wednesday at midnight or whatever. That's for you. I'm not grading it. You're not being late if you get it on, if you're a day late on that. Those deadlines are simply there for you to stay on track. Now, everything's due Sunday at midnight Pacific Standard Time. Everything. If you're late after that, yes, you lose points. So get everything in by Sunday at midnight. And I'm going to restate this later, except for that last week where our quarter ends on a Saturday at midnight, not Sunday. I'll address that later. I don't want to throw too much information your way. So anyway, the big keys this week is how to use the National Library. Have you used it? It's pretty handy. They're pretty good there. So there's an assignment, actually. You'll see it towards the end of the week. How to look things up at the library. What are their hours? How to contact the library. I know that sounds simple, but some people don't know how. So this is an exercise on how to contact your national librarian. They're going to be handy, especially if you've chosen a topic for your final paper. We don't expect you to go out and find all the research on your own. Use a librarian. Chat them up. Call them on the phone. Email them, although the chat and calling is probably the quickest way to get their attention. And tell them you want, if you're doing something on school bullying, violence in school, whatever it might be, internet bullying, say that's your topic, and tell them that you're looking for peer-reviewed articles, and they will steer you in the right direction. This week is really about trying to find a reliable source for your final research paper, which you'll be handing into last week. And reliability is key to research writing. That's the key. So how do you find these sources? You just don't Google it and just Google your question. You will get 2 million results. It's too much. So by knowing how to ask the oracle of the internet is what this week is all about. The more specific, you all have experience, I assume, on the internet, researching things, buying things on Amazon, whatever. You know how to ask things. If you're too wordy and too general, you're going to get some results that aren't going to be useful to you. You want to be specific, concise, and to the point. Don't overwhelm the search engines with long, rambling sentences. You will not get the results you need. And you're looking for as few results as possible. I know that sounds counterintuitive, but it is, because this is a short class. It's a short paper, 3-4 pages. You don't want to get 5 million results on one of your questions. How are you going to do all that research? Which one are you going to use? How are you going to find it? By being very specific and using what they call academic research sites like ProQuest and others that you'll see in this assignment, the tutorials this week. Those sites are specifically built for these sorts of papers. Now, when you go to grad school, the papers become longer. When I went to grad school, it was common 50, 60 pages. That was requirement. One of my master's thesis had to be 100 pages minimum. Had to have 25 different reliable sources. That's a lot of work. It took 6 months to do the paper. This is our ramp up to that. Whatever your careers are, whatever your hopes and dreams are, and hopefully we could talk about this as we go on. I've tried to attempt Zoom meetings with this class and nobody ever shows up, so I've stopped. But if you want to talk about it, discussion, please do. It's important for me to know what you're trying to get out of this class. Are you going up the ladder of your career, or is it a medical career? Is it academic career? You want to be a teacher? You want to be a therapist? I'm not sure. That's what these classes are designed. And so these research papers are things that you will find handy for other classes, because that's what you do, folks, is research papers. I'm going to talk about specifics, not so much today, about what the research paper should look like, because it has to walk and talk like an academic research paper. They all walk and talk the same way, but the content is all different. Because this class falls under a certain division, we're using APA formatting. You'll have to know how to do that. It's relatively easy. You can Google it. It's in all the tutorials. I've posted some samples, what it looks like. If you have trouble with it, let me know. Already I've seen some in grading some of your assignments. People aren't using it in your assignments that you're handing in. Please use it in an assignment. APA is simply this. Everything's double spaced. Everything. All assignments are double spaced. All assignments have a page number. All assignments have your name, the name of the assignment, and the date on the first page. Tell me what the paper is. Don't let just because you're submitting it into the right box, because sometimes they slip out of that box, and I have to go searching for what this paper is. So please just put the assignment date, the name of the assignment, and your name. Simple. Double space everything. You want to have 1-inch margins all the way around. You want to have New Times Roman 12-point font. That's standard, folks. Okay, so that's just a little rundown of what it should look like on the page. And please number your pages so I can look at it to see if there's a right the correct page number, which is important because writing the correct amount of pages is part of learning how to do research writing. Someone will say, write me a 20-page. Well, you better come up with 20 pages. So this week, besides the library, you're going to learn how to take a screenshot. Maybe some of you know how to do that. There's one assignment due at the end of the week where you have to do several screenshots. It's an important aspect to this paper. If you don't have the ability or you mess up and you don't do the screenshots, you won't get the points you need. So you will have to learn how to do a screenshot. And a screenshot is different than just taking a picture, say with your cell phone, and then uploading it onto to the assignment. That's not a screenshot. That is a weak workaround on the screenshot. So besides that, reliable sources is the key to your paper. How do reliable journals, peer-reviewed journals, that helps. Meaning, if you're writing about cyber bullies, you want to get some experts who, law enforcers or school people who deal with cyber bullies all the time. You want to get some quotes from these people who have experience and they've written articles in journals, magazines, books, internet, online sources. It's real important to the key to your paper. And I look at that stuff. I have to look to see where your source is coming from. Here's what I don't want you to use. Stay away from bloggers. Anybody can blog. Stay away from source that has no name. There's no name attached to the source. Why? Don't use it. Don't use Wikipedia. We'll explain that more later. Wikipedia has gotten a lot better. It has, but it is known to anybody can submit to Wikipedia, and anybody could have the wrong facts in there. Now we want to get the facts straight on this paper. When you're quoting somebody, you need to give their credentials. This is really important. You will lose credit. You will lose points on your paper if you don't. And it's not good enough to say, John Smith, a writer, said this. Well, what does that mean, a writer? Writer for who? What's his credentials? What's John's writing? Does he write for New York Magazine or does he write for comic books? I'm not putting comic books down. I hope he does. But I'm just saying, what does he write for? Does he write in his journal by himself at night? Is he a published writer? Who is this John Smith? And it's not easy sometimes to find out this information, but that's part of this paper you're going to do, is to find out who these people are. What makes them an expert? Why are you using them as an expert source? Or you're just grabbing somebody off the World Wide Web. That's not going to bode well for the final grade. It's not enough to say John Smith, a PhD, said this. A PhD in what? There's a lot of PhDs out there, folks. What's it? What is it? Is this a professor? Is this somebody in a PhD with a law background? What exactly is their credentials? I'll talk about this more later. It's part of the research is researching the person you're going to use a quote source. On your paper, you need at least 2 quote sources. I'll talk about this later when we get closer to your paper. If you quote from one source only, it slants the direction of the paper. So it's a short paper. If you have 4 or 5 sources, that's probably too many. That means the sources are writing in the paper, you aren't. And I want to see your words, your thoughts and analysis on the topic using the quote sources to punch that up, to convince me, the reader, of your meaning, that I could trust it. The paper isn't an argument. You're not taking a side. And sometimes that's not easy to do because you might pick a hot topic button like what? Well, like cyberbullying. We all have feelings about that. Maybe you've been cyberbullied. Maybe you have a child that's been cyberbullied in grammar school. And so you want to punish that cyberbully, but that's going to make your paper biased. So try to keep your personal feelings out of the paper, not your personal words, because it's going to be your words, but try to keep, because you want the reader to have a fair and balanced reading experience and let them make the choice. Okay. What else? Credentials, ProQuest. I talked about that. I can't even read my own writing. Uh, keep looking at these people until you get the results you need. Use the library. That's what they're there for. If you have trouble, say if English is not your first language and you're having trouble with smoothing out your sentences, you can submit it to me and I'll help you. Also, there is the writing lab. There's the writing center at National. You can zip them off a page or two and say, how does this read? Maybe some of you have used the writing center. That's what they're there for. Don't be embarrassed to use it. Don't be ashamed. Use it if you need it. Don't be afraid to ask a question. You might think it's silly, makes you look stupid. No. You know what makes you look stupid? Not asking the question. That's silly. Ask it. Put it on the discussion board. Let other people respond to it. A lot of times, students are quicker at responding than I am, and someone might have more experience in that field, and they've been there, or they're school teachers, they work in the medical industry, and they can answer it like that. It's okay to ask your fellow peers. I don't want to overwhelm you with stuff and bore you with stuff, but that's what this week is all about. I'm going to post another one of these videos when we do another when I talk about your draft or your final paper, and hopefully it helps. Listen to it. Take notes. This is what I look like. This is National University. I've been there since 2006. I've taught this class probably over 100 times. I know a little bit what I'm talking about, but I'm fallible. I make mistakes like everybody else. I want to read some good, solid, honest writing. The main thing you don't want to do is copy someone else's words without giving them credit. It's called plagiarism, and you'll flunk the paper. Sure, I can usually spot it if it's not coming from you. There is a site teachers get to use. I can run your paper, that quote, through a site, and if it looks like it's taken from a source and you're not giving credit to that source, you'll essentially get an F on the paper. You don't want that. You don't need it because you're too honest for that. You're going to write honest papers. I'd rather see a paper that was full of mistakes and full of errors, but it's your words. It's your words. It's your honest assessment of that topic. Hopefully, pick your topic out now because you got to start researching. If you didn't pick a topic out, you need to pick one out. Usually, you can pick it out through the list we provide. If that helps, most students do that. You can pick your own topic as long as it maybe has something to do with your major or your field of study you're doing. That's fine, as long as it has a technology aspect. Okay. That's one of the requirements because that's the world we're living in right now. It's a technology world. Please address your questions to me and my email address. Hope everybody's doing good, staying cool. Go take a walk on the beach if you have one near you. Go walk your dog. Take your kids to get some ice cream. Not too much ice cream, little. That's okay. I'll end this stream right now, and I'll just say write strong, write honest, write the truth.